What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're doing something very special. I am so happy to welcome PokeAimMD to the channel. Joey, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, guys? Just chilling here. I'm just sitting with the VGC 2016 Masters Division champion. No big deal. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. It's just woofly over here. But Joey's been so gracious and has offered his time. This is actually part of a two-part interview. And so if you missed part one, please go check it out. It's in the description. Joey's like a phenomenal interviewist. So
yeah,
I'm like, this conversation just flew by. We just finished up the last recording the first part, and I was like, how long was that? And I was like thinking like, oh yeah, like maybe 10 minutes, and it was like, oh, about half an hour. So I'm like, oh. But yeah, after this point, we'd like Joe, we're just gonna let you take control because you're the interviewer, I'm the interviewee. Yeah, this is just like a post worlds interview. I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you again to Joey for being on. So,
yeah, no problem. Guys, if you missed the first part, basically we talked about the venue, the tournaments, his team. It was really cool getting the breakdown of the team that he brought to Worlds. But this time we're gonna be talking about the matches, and we're actually just gonna go right into it. So, bro, are there any matches that are definitely memorable, or anything that was hard for you, or just the team in general? Like, how do you feel? Like, anything that you just remember, like outright, like maybe even your finals match or anything like top 8, or just going through.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of want to talk about one of the matches, or a couple of the matches maybe, that weren't on stream that I feel were really incredible. And one of those is, it was round 2 of Worlds, and I was up first with Will Tansley, who is one of the best UK players. He dominated the scene this year. He's like, people have been singing his praises, and I can see why, because he was phenomenal. And he was using a team called Big B. If you guys followed VGC, you're aware of it. It was like basically a Big 6 variant with Bronzong. And normally my team is like, if there was one matchup that I would like, that I feel like so comfortable in going in, it was versus Big B. And so I took game 1, and I was like, yeah, like Big B, like this is kind of the auto win matchup. And then game 2 I lost because he went for some hypnosis out of gravity, and but that was he also played well. Like, he really understood his positioning, and there I was. I'm 1-1, round 2 of Worlds, and I have to win this next game to move on, to get a win, and I do not want to lose to Big B. And so it's game 3 now, and he has Bronzong Salamence, and I have Hitmontop Gengar, and I went for this thing which I talked about with Marcus in preparation, but we didn't know if we could actually pull it off. And basically, it's super cool. Like, I love it. Like, the fact that I was able to do it makes me so happy. And the way it works is, you get Gengar on the field using Shadow Tag. At some point, you get Skill Swap, you get Bronzong, and you use Skill Swap to take Aerialate away from Salamence. So now they have a Salamence without Aerialate, which cannot touch Gengar at all. And you have Shadow Tag, so they can't switch out. So you have a Salamence with only normal moves. It's at least at -1 attack, and it's versus Gengar, who can't touch, and Bronzong, who Steel
resist.
Type.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was actually able to pull this off versus Will. And what I did but it was really close because he hypnosis me out of gravity, and there was a couple 3-turn sleeps, and my Hitmontop and my Gengar, I had to let my Hitmontop take a Hyper Voice in order to use eject button to get I believe my Gengar back in for free, for safety. But I was able to burn the Bronzong, but it was heat proof, so it only took 1/16 damage every turn. And so it was this crazy situation where I used Shadow Tag to trap him in. I finally, the way it finally worked out was I got Skill Swap off of Mence to get Aerialate away from it, and then I Skill Swap my own Gengar to get the Shadow Tag onto Bronzong, brought Kyogre in, burned the Bronzong, and then waited for 13-14 minutes until it was the second, until there was 1 turn left, and then I KO'd the Bronzong with Water Spout, because it had already taken enough burn damage so that would happen, and then just let the time run out because the time was over at that point. And I just thought that was so cool, because that's something that, in TCG, you can have lock decks. You can have situations where you lock them down and you deck them out, or you go up in prizes or something and you trap them. I played TCG for a while, and that was definitely a possibility, but it's very rare for it to happen in VGC because damage adds up, and so even if something's doing only an 8th or a 7th damage, that'll add up pretty quickly, especially if they start doubling into stuff. So I just thought that was so cool, and I wanted to share it. I wish I could have recorded it because it was so crazy. But yeah, that was definitely one of the matches that I thought was amazing and incredible, and I wish it could have been streamed because it was so close too. It wasn't the lock was not clean. One crit would have ended it early on, and so it was super risky.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's one thing I also wish that they would change about the format, that you could save battles. I want to be able to watch the replays of what's going on.
I know.
Especially for me as a spectator, that's definitely something that just appeals to me. I like that I can watch the games on stream, and that especially when you have really talented commentators that actually explain the moves and they also have personality as well, but they're also
Yes.
very knowledgeable about it. I love that, but there's definitely like gems, like some hidden gems in
So
the
many
rounds
amazing
itself.
games,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That you're just missing out on, and like who knows, maybe it will be better than a top 8 match in itself, just
Oh,
because of
absolutely.
luck
Yeah.
and matchup, like things like that. So that's definitely something that I wish they would change, but I understand why they don't.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah, because back in the day we were able to save battle videos, like back in Gen 5. But unfortunately, with the feature where like you can battle your opponents in game, like I think it makes sense that they took it out so that you don't reveal more
Yeah,
information. But
yeah.
it's still unfortunate because, like you said, like I mean, and even in the best case scenario, they're streaming they're streaming like 2 games like per round, and there's like a few more on like TVs at the venue that people might record, but like you're still getting like I don't know 40, 50 matches that you're not streaming, and some of those are really incredible, and some of those are like really hype. And so like yeah, it's just like it's unfortunate that we don't save those, but some people do really good work. There's like a player named Team Rocket Elite who goes at like every tournament since I've been around, has been recording the matches that are on TVs but not streamed, and like that kind of work is so valuable.
No, definitely, and I would love to be linked that at some point,
Yes.
just to watch that. But any other matches that were definitely memorable, or do you want to talk about your finals match versus Jonathan?
Yeah, I'd love to, because I think that going into the match, people people were kind of like, okay, Wolf is like a really strong like in matchup advantage here. He's definitely gonna win. But I think that the matchup was actually a lot more even than people gave it credit for at first. I actually played Jonathan during Swiss, and I did win both games like 2-0, but they were really close, and I definitely could have lost either of them, or both of them, you know. And I think I definitely took him to timer one game, and I might have taken him to timer both games, like just like coincidentally. And so but yeah, it was they were really close games. And so in the finals, like I think what was really important is that Jonathan's Mega Gengar was like I think really really important to the positioning, because limiting my switching options is so important, because not only does like if you limit my switching options, not only does it like limit like when I can switch to my fake out Pokemon, which is huge, whether or not I can get my weather back up, whether or not I can get ran, but also Mega Gengar is immune to my fake out, so it's super hard for me to stop, and it's also immune to extreme speed, and feint as well. So all of my priority moves are useless versus Mega Gengar, which is like very 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 concerning, because that's like really important for my team, you know, being able to lock down a Pokemon and fake out and then like do all this other stuff in the meantime. And so like not being able to do anything to the Mega Gengar, kind of relying on Kyogre, especially because it had Will-O-Wisp, so like I couldn't even rely on Rayquaza to do anything because it would just get burnt, which is what happened in Swiss. He burnt my Rayquaza. Yeah, and so with that in mind, I think that that doesn't even account for the fact that like if I let Jonathan get Mega Gengar and Groudon in, and I didn't have proper positioning, like it was going to be very difficult for me, because I couldn't switch it, like I couldn't switch in Rayquaza, and I did not want to be taking Precipice Blades, especially when my Raichu couldn't protect, you know. So I had to be super careful of that. So going into the matchup, I ended up leading with Kyogre Rayquaza because I knew that Jonathan would expect Kyogre Raichu, because that's what I did both games in Swiss, and I liked Kyogre Rayquaza because it let me kind of bluff, like it ensured that he would not switch in his Groudon. And so I was thinking about the turn one, and I was like, okay, if I go Kyogre Rayquaza, and turn one I go Water Spout or Origin Pulse, and I switch to Raichu, he won't switch to Groudon, so that's out of the picture. So if he attacks with Gengar, I can hopefully KO with my Water move, and if he protects with Gengar, then I can Volt Switch Origin Pulse next turn, and he can't protect and switch to Groudon, if that makes sense.
No, I get you. He can't switch because of Shadow Tag. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, I can't switch because of Shadow Tag, but he can't.
Yeah.
He can't he can't stop my Volt Switch.
He can't. Yeah.
Exactly.
He couldn't safely switch into it when you have Ray and Ogre on the field as well, and you could KO Groudon as well with your Water move. Yeah.
And the problem with leading Raichu is that if he protects his Gengar turn 1 and switches to Groudon, or no, if he doesn't protect his Gengar turn 1 and switches to Groudon, then turn 2 he can go protect, and I can't Volt Switch anymore, because Groudon's immune to it and he's protected his Gengar. And so that's super threatening. And I was also really afraid of the Manectric. I thought that, like, there's a play game 1 where I go Protect Endeavor, even though I could have just gone Volt. He had Gengar just protected in Groudon, and I could have gone Volt Switch Origin Pulse. But I was really afraid of his Manectric, so I went Protect Endeavor just to cover for it, because I hadn't seen the last Pokemon yet.
No, obviously, that was just a smart play. You don't know what the hell he brought, and if it's something that could beat you, you want to make the play that puts you in the best position.
Exactly. I wasn't willing to gamble I wasn't willing to gamble Worlds on not knowing what he had in back.
Exactly.
Because if that play had gone badly, I think I would have lost. So I wanted to be safe. But yeah, it was actually like a super interesting matchup. I think it showed like why opposing Kyogre is really threatening for my team, because like I rely a lot on chip damage with Water Spout, on Endeavor, on chip damage with Volt Switch, on repeated fake outs, and on Rayquaza. But Jonathan's team with his Mega Gengar was it was difficult for me to get that up, especially because I always had to be covering for I always had to be thinking about the Trick Room option as well. So I couldn't just focus the Kyogre. Often it felt like I had to do I had to put pressure on Bronzong as well, and that was really scary.
Yeah, definitely. I also, there was one point where I think you either Water Spouted or Origin Pulse, and the Gengar ended up living
Barely
on a sliver on HP.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like it definitely,
exactly.
and it was just giving you had to play around it the entire time. Like Gengar was just such a
Exactly.
threat. It was that speed. Like your main way of dealing with it was Kyogre just taking the hit.
Mhm.
Because obviously you didn't want to sack Rayquaza's Focus Sash and
I didn't want to let anything get burnt either. And like
exactly.
Raichu could do stuff, but like have it like it wasn't always good to have Raichu on the field, you know?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, how do you feel about those games, like in general, though, how they went down? Anything you would have done differently while playing, or would you have like I don't know. I think there was this one play that I can't remember at the top of my head. Actually, let's not talk about it because obviously, if I can't remember, it's not going to be good enough to
Okay.
talk
Good
about.
call.
But
Yeah. Well, as for like doing stuff differently, I definitely like looking back. I definitely see some like pretty clear mistakes I made. Not like huge mistakes, but things that I could have done better, like safer options I have. I don't remember off the top of my head any of them, but like they were definitely there. And looking back, like I don't know, like I definitely noticed some mistakes, but overall, like I think what you need to keep in mind is that like there's so much pressure up there. Like
exactly, yeah,
I was so stressed, especially because like for me, like that was like such an important match because like I'm back in the finals. This is kind of like my chance at redemption, but I've been here once before. I know that I am capable of losing now that I get here. Like I made a promise to some of my friends like the year before in 2015. It was me and Marcus and Billa and DeFlo, who are all German players. They're amazing guys. They're the best. And we just watched the top 8 of Worlds from 2015, and if you remember, that was the year that Japan dominated. Like
dominated.
they were
Yep, yep.
first through 7th, and we looked at each other and we were like, guys, like how could this happen? Like we thought we were pretty good. Like how did we all like do so badly? How did Japan kill us? And I don't remember who it was. It wasn't me, but one of the other guys just looked at like the rest of us and was like, guys, like next year it has to be one of us. Like one of us has to win, and that was like something that like really really stuck with me because I don't know, like I wanted to hold myself accountable to them. I wanted to like I'm somebody who if I say I'm gonna do something, I actually want to do it. And so to be back up there on stage and to think like, wow, this isn't just a dream, like this isn't just an empty promise, like I could fulfill this, like I could keep my word, like this is something that I want to do. Like it was really really stressful. I was feeling okay going into game 1. I actually did like some like stretches beforehand. Like I was backstage like doing like I used to run track, and so like I was just doing my old track stretches, just kind of loosen up and stuff. But game 2, I remember like after I won game 1, I remember looking down at my hands. And I was shaking, like I was shaking so hard, and I was like, I was like, I don't even want to be shaking. Like I'm not choosing to shake right now. I'd rather not if it's all the same, but
I mean,
I don't have a choice.
you played it off well though. You didn't look stressed when you were playing at all.
Yeah,
You even
it was
you
just
even
like a
had some
whole
fun
thing.
with the camera while you were playing
Yes.
too. So
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess since we're here, I may as well talk about that fake out Swords Dance turn. I had no idea that he was going to protect. So my initial reaction is genuine surprise. Like, I did not know he was going to protect at all. I was expecting to do something where it was like fake out into Bronzong and then Swords Dance and then get Kyogre in for free, which is why I Mega Evolved to get the rain up so that I could go protect Kyogre, Dragon Ascent, Groudon, and then hope to live the hope to KO the Groudon. I figured +2 Dragon Ascent would KO, though as we learned it didn't. And kind of go from there. And so I was not expecting at all. Like I was expecting to go Gyro Ball Eruption, take out my Hitmontop, and then like have my Bronzong have enough HP to live like another Eruption or whatever he chose to throw at it, like just to be able to live 2 attacks, even though I was at reduced defense.
yeah.
And so like when I saw him go protect, I was shocked. So guys, like please do not praise me as like some like master of prediction. That wasn't what I thought would happen. It just ended up working out very 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 well.
I mean, it obviously did. You ended up winning, bro.
Yes.
That's another thing about Pokemon. Like your thought process and your opponents, it's not guaranteed that they're going to be the same. So even a play like that, you went for your best play there. So it ended up working out even better than what you thought.
Yes, way better.
What are your future plans with VGC? Like for this year, for Sun and Moon, like what do you plan on doing? Do you still plan on competing? I know you're still in school as well.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked me that. I'm not planning on retiring, though. I hope my alter ego Woofley, who's my Buster alter ego, I hope he stays wherever he went. But as for me, the thing is that like I genuinely love Pokemon. Like the game itself is so interesting to me, and pushing myself to become better and like pushing myself to understand it. Even though I did win Worlds, like dude, it's so much fun. Like when you like building this team was so rewarding for me, and playing with it, like this is the first time in a while that I went back and I watched all the matches that I played in, and like I'm genuinely really happy with my play. And like most of the time I can't say that. Like most of the time like I make mistakes and like I'm pissed at myself, but like I really am overall satisfied with my play, and it's like such a nice feeling. And yeah, I don't know. Even though like I did achieve like Worlds, like even though I did win, like I don't know. It's just like it's just like. First of all, I love the people. Like I've made some incredible friends, and like I love being able to see them like a couple times a year, and yeah, just the game itself is like still really fun for me, and I don't think I'm as good as I could be. And so I'm gonna keep playing competitively. Obviously, like school takes priority for me. That's like pretty important.
Yeah.
But I've always been able to make time for Pokemon when I need to. So yeah, that's kind of the plans at the moment. Just kind of keep playing. Like maybe take a break for now to kind of like just like a little break to kind of get into school. You know, it's pretty. This semester is looking pretty tough for me in terms of like classes, but yeah, I'll definitely still be at events. I don't know which events yet, but yeah, that's kind of the general thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have a little while till the Sun and Moon that actually starts, like VGC for that, VGC 2017, whenever that starts. I mean, obviously,
Yes.
between some point now in December, we'll have a few PCs for 16 to get some points going into 17. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah,
If I'm not
exactly.
mistaken.
I think there are some fall like some regionals as well, though they haven't announced what the official rule set is. I heard some rumors that they might be a different rule set, but honestly, who knows?
Yeah, but as long as you plan on doing it, and obviously school is very, very
Yes,
important.
the priority.
As for Sun and Moon, what do you plan on doing with that? What do you expect from it? What do you want from it for VGC?
That's a good. Okay, I want better game mechanics. Like getting rid of freeze would be awesome. Doing something about paralysis would be cool. More balance, please. Like no megas. Please don't let Z moves be too overpowered. Like I don't know. I just want like a balanced format, which is like not totally dominated by like these high power Pokemon. Because for me, the lower the power level is like the overall tournament of the overall format, the more things are viable, you know? So like in 2012 I could use Executor. In 2014 Sejun could use Pachirisu, and they weren't that far behind, but in 2016 it was like really hard for me to make kind of more unconventional stuff work just because like things were so strong, you know? Nothing switches into Groudon, you know? Nothing switches into Groudon. And that was like a big drag. And so I think a big part of that is Megas. So I would love if they got rid of Megas. Hashtag no more Megas, please.
I actually agree completely with that. Not
Yeah.
even from the VGC standpoint, but I play singles, and
Yeah.
I feel like Mega is just like they force me to use certain Pokemon. They're so strong, and especially in
Yeah.
VGC as well. Obviously, like I don't want the Ubers as well, what we call them Ubers, the legendaries as well being used. But I'm pretty sure going into Sun and Moon, we're not going to have
Yeah,
that. That's
I do
usually-
not. They will not have those. I would bet.
Yeah.
Obviously, something to do about Moody or Dark Void would also be nice.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Smeargle, the
excited about
Cryos,
that.
like the entire season, people were crying about Smeargle for good reason.
Yes,
for
it's
good
annoying.
reason. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
actually super
It
annoying.
literally like it forces you to use certain mods or certain ways to beat it, and it's straight up luck too. Like that doesn't even matter. Just even if you prep for it, Moody can give it the speed boosts, and you get your
yeah.
Dark Voids off. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would love to have something done about that. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of want a balanced format. I want a good tournament structure. I want like less power overall, and I don't know. I'm actually super excited. I feel like I was talking a bit with Aaron Zhang about it, and he was talking about how he feels that Sun and Moon could be so good for competitive Pokemon, and like so good. Like this is a cool time for Pokemon too, right? Like we just had Pokemon Go's huge success, which like I'm sure like you've experienced too as a competitive player. Like all these people who like previously had no kind of context for Pokemon, they were like, oh yeah, Pokemon. I played the cards when I was growing up. All of a sudden, they have something that like they can relate it to, and that's like really cool. And like Sun and Moon could be really, really big, and I don't know. I'm really excited for the future of Pokemon, and I hope it's as great as it can be. You know?
Yeah, exactly, and definitely with Pokemon Go rising in popularity, and the rumor that the second generation is actually coming out around November as well, which is when Sun and Moon drops. So that could
that'd be
definitely,
so.
yeah, that could definitely be. I mean, again, it's just a rumor that's coming out November, December, but that'll definitely be good for sales for Sun and Moon as well. Like,
Yes.
I'd get into it because of that. I also agree with the whole paralysis being changed. I think paralysis should just lower your speed.
Agreed.
I don't think you shouldn't be unable to move. Obviously, that just has changed so much, like in VGC and games. Like I've seen games come down to whether this Pokemon gets full parried or not.
Yes.
And I think it's what 25% chance that you get full parried, but it doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel like
It
it.
does not
It does
feel
not
like it,
feel
yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
And I would definitely like, and even in my singles, like I play like Pokemon like a Fable are like ridiculously strong because they can beat their counters. They can beat Heat Ran, they can beat Mega Scizor with just Thunder Wave in itself. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just things like that. Definitely, I would change that. Is there any Pokemon in particular from what you've seen that you're excited for using in Sun and Moon? Or
Oh boy, dude! I mean, I think everybody knows, but I am going to be using a Alolan Executor so much. I like lose my cool. Like I think my hair just stood up on end just thinking about Executor, just because like it's so cool, it's so derpy, its neck is so long. I'm so excited. I'm gonna like I don't even care if it's good. Like I will be using a Alolan Executor because it's just like it's awesome. I love it. And I guess I'll use a Alolan Raichu down too because like it's cute and like I don't know. Now I have like a pretty good connection to Raichu. You know?
its ability is pretty cool too.
Yes.
And I don't know if you would pair it with the double electric type, but like when I think about electric types, like I talked about this in my video as well. Like when I think about electric types in VGC, I think about prior to this generation, all of them I would think about like Zapdos, Thundurus, Rotom,
Groudon. Those are the big
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, maybe Mega Manectric in there and Raichu or whatever. But Alolan Raichu's ability is that its speed is doubled, right?
Yes.
When Electric
Electric
Terrain is
Terrain.
on, and you
Yep.
know what summons Electric Terrain? Tapu Koko. I think that's the
Yep.
Pokemon's name. So
I think
I don't
so.
know. I don't know if I could see myself running a double Electric, automatically giving me this double weakness to ground, and unless they get like Wide Guard or something.
Magnerize.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Let's go.
I mean, if they pack like Wide Guard or some cool support moves, then
Yeah, and like
definitely.
Raichu already gets like Encore, so like you could get super fast Fake Out and Encore. Like I don't know, I could definitely like like, you might not even need Electric Terrain, but I definitely think it's something that could be explored. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I just think about a Raichu outspeeding a +2 Xerneas, and it just makes me laugh. Obviously, like we're not
yeah.
gonna see that over there, but
No, I hope not. I hope we never do that for our sakes.
maybe when we get Pokemon Oras 2 or whatever
Yes,
they're coming.
or else too.
Yeah, or Black and White 3 or Black and White Z.
I would buy Delta Emerald so hard. I love Emerald. It's like I miss the Battle Factory. I love the Battle Factory. Like that was my jam when I was a kid.
That's something I'd bring back as well, just for fun.
Yes.
It's like it was so fun.
It was just like literally just for fun. It's like the best. It's so much fun.
I love how we're like trailing off from the seriousness.
Yeah, sorry,
We're just-
sorry. I was just-
No, I mean no, that's fine. It's a chill interview.
Yes.
People get to see who you are. That's what I think. That's the important thing. That's what I also love about uploading to YouTube as well. Like you can be yourself, just chill. I mean, you can be yourself in real life too, but like now people get to watch me be
I hope
myself.
so. Yeah, I agree.
But uploading wise, Sun and Moon. Any plans? Any the YouTube channel in general? Like, what do you see yourself doing with it? Do you see yourself growing? Do you want to explore more with YouTube? Do you want to capitalize on Sun and Moon? Like, what do you want to do?
Okay, obviously, like, I think it's important to preface this by saying I'm, like, a huge noob, and, like, I don't really have any idea what I'm doing ever, but with that in mind, I'm really enjoying YouTube. Like, I really enjoy, like, making content. Like, I've done some, like, the thing is, sometimes I think my videos are really funny, like, even when it's, like, other people don't, and I don't know, like, it's fun for me. It's kind of fun for me just kind of, like, to have this kind of blend of serious content where, like, I really want to help people get better at VGC, but also to have stuff that's, like, more fun and, like, just kind of me messing around. And so going forward, I'd love to collab more with people. That's, like, something that, like, it's because it's just so much fun, dude. Like this is so much more fun than just me, like, you know, like sitting at my computer, talk, like, you know, that's more fun. I have some stuff, like I'm working on this one project that's really cool right now, but I don't want to spoil it too much. But it's like it's nothing you'd expect, and it's like it just kind of hit me out of the blue, and I just met with the dude who I'm working with yesterday. So keep your eyes out for that. I don't know when that's coming, but hopefully soon. As for Sun and Moon itself, I'm kind of thinking about maybe making competitive content. Like I know you and I were talking about this like earlier, but maybe like making like competitive content for Sun and Moon, making VGC content for early Sun and Moon to kind of help people figure out what's going on in VGC. I could definitely see myself doing that. I'm considering doing a Let's Play, like pretty seriously for Sun and Moon, and I think that'd be fun. But yeah, I'm not done with YouTube. I have slowed down a lot since I like have been so busy and stuff. But I'm about to kick back up, especially when I get a handle on like my school and stuff. So
Hey, no,
yeah, the channel's not going anywhere.
No, that's awesome, dude, and I think that's just great for the growth of VGC in general.
Yeah.
I know there's a few channels that I'm subscribed to. Obviously, Cybertron.
Yeah, that's a big
you.
one.
There's a Barry.
Yes,
Just a whole bunch of
Barry,
people.
Hibiki as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people are making good VGC content now, and that's something we didn't have. Aaron's been doing it for a while, but the rest of us have kind of just, like more recently jumped on the bandwagon, I guess.
Yeah, and the more you put up, like the better, the more it'll be recognized. You're consistent
Exactly.
to be recognized, and that should be great for VGC as a whole. And
Exactly.
I'm very excited to see. Like I already told you, like I'm gonna be
Yeah,
going to
we're training, guys. You heard it here first. I want you to know, Joey and I are training hard next season. Watch out, New York. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm actually in New York, guys. I'm with all the powerhouses. Like I just wanted to go and get my
easy.
points.
You're like, why can't I just have like a little 8-person PC where like you know it's like someone's mom?
I had like the whole South Africa thing I heard about her, something like that. Like I just,
22 people or something crazy. Yeah.
yeah, like I just want my points. I want to be able to compete.
Yeah.
No, but definitely that's something I'm gonna be doing as well. But I'm really excited to see what content you produce and how you're gonna be innovating the VGC metagame going
thanks, dude.
forward. And I love it. I don't know. I really feel like megas are just not gonna have their place in it, and I
hope
love
so.
that with this new generation coming up, we have the potential to see so many different types of teams as well after going into the
Yes.
tournaments. And I love that. So many different archetypes, and I think
Yes.
that would just be cool in general. Do you have anything else to say, bro?
No, I mean, I just like, I really like, genuinely, thank you so much for coming on. Like, this has been so much fun. Like, I cannot believe how long we've been talking because it does not feel very long at all to me.
Nah, it was definitely fun. Thank you so much for inviting me. Guys, originally we did not plan to do like an interview. We were gonna do something a little bit more I might as well tell. Yeah, we're gonna do something goofy, but I was like, bro, you just won Worlds. Let's be a little bit serious. I want people to be like, yeah, this is Wolf.
Yeah.
I think like we say this is Wolf like Unbound or something in another video, like where you say.
I can dig that. Someone Photoshop that, please. Wolf Unbound.
But right here, this is him. This is the competitive dude that you saw before. This is the guy that like straight up won Worlds, and this is why. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on as well.
Of course.
And again, guys, if you missed part 1 of the interview, it is on my channel where we cover his team, we cover the tournament, and go ahead and subscribe to him. Subscribe to him right now if you're coming from my channel.
Well. Go do it.
You can go sub to me if you want. I play singles, so it's not like as
He's good, dude. You can learn a lot. Actually, I watch his videos and I'm like, dang, this guy's really good. Like, I'm gonna apply this up to VGC. For real.
You're gonna crit them and hack them and freeze them. Good.
Yeah, easy.
But thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you, guys. Peace.